Hi, and welcome to Self-Defense Training Online, the most comprehensive and detailed self-defense and martial arts resource on the web. I'm Barry Klein, I'm the senior instructor, and with over 30 years experience in martial arts and self-defense, I'm going to show you more than any instructor or club is going to do. Now, we've created the site for a number of reasons. The first one is there is so much to learn about self-defense that no one can memorize it all. And yet almost no club is going to give you any documentation of what they've taught you. Here we are dedicated to document every step of everything we know and make it available to you. We're going to show you what we're going to talk about, why we're going to do this. We have step-by-step instructions. We have thousands of step-by-step photos. And ultimately everything is going to have video instructions, both showing the slow motion and the full speed. The second thing about this is there is so much to learn about the movements themselves. From where your feet need to be, how you're going to sit down in your stance, so you're going to have a strong foundation but flexible. It's going to be about how your hips move during the movements, how your shoulders are going to move, how your hands are going to come out. Almost all techniques have balance hands, which is going to come in as one goes out. The hands are going to rotate. There's going to be a distance between you and your opponent that's going to make the movements work the most. There is so much about all of the movements that no instructors can show all students everything about all techniques. But we are going to do that by step-by-step instructions, photos, and videos. Another reason is people learn at different rates. So you go to a club and you pick up a movement easily and you're keen to move on and learn something else. And you can get frustrated that the club stays learning the same things and repeating the same things. For the same reason, you might find a movement which you really like and you want to understand it better, perform it better. You want to research all the applications of this in self-defense. But you can be frustrated the club then moves on and does something else before you are ready for it. And they might not come back for a couple of months to talk about the same thing. Here, we're going to give you the flexibility to choose when you are going to move on. You pick it up easily, move on straight away, or stay as long as you need to feel comfortable. Another reason is people have different interests. In a club, the instructor can't show every student different things. So you will have to learn what your instructor thinks you should learn for that day. Now here we do have a structure. We are going to show you the stances and we're going to show you the movements. Then we'll explain the different ways you're going to be attacked and how you're going to block, and then the applications for those movements. But once you understand the basics of those, you get to choose what you want to focus on. If you want to focus on grabs and the releases from grabs, you can do that for as long as you like. If you want to pick a movement and then really understand that movement, you can do that for as long as you want. Our aim here is to have the most comprehensive and user-friendly self-defense website on the planet. Now, this site currently is designed for two different groups of people. The first is complete beginners. Those of you which haven't done any self-defense before, but want to start taking a bit more control of your life. This could be families, some parents who are going to take their children through this. So the children can go to school, they can be at school, they can go socializing with their friends with less chance or risk of being assaulted or bullied. This could be adults, young or old, male or female, that just want to go about your business and have more control over what happens. Or this could be work related, whether you're into security or you're involved with any industry that you may face shoplifters or drunk people that you might need to restrain or remove from a situation. So for the beginners, if you're attacked on the street, first off we understand your attacker is going to be bigger, stronger or angrier than you are. A lot of beginners don't want to learn about all the hard techniques to try and overpower. So regardless of how hard or strong your opponent is, we are going to show you very simple ways that you can release and escape. We're going to show you from all the different types of attacks regardless of how they're holding, to be able to release and get away from them. From double grabs, distracting, taking them off balance, and being able to push them away. From lapel grabs, easy, simple ways. What you're going to notice is a lot of these techniques are soft techniques. Self-defense is not about injuring your opponent, it is about protecting yourself, being able to escape and get out of that situation. So these techniques here apply to anyone. It does not matter how strong you are, does not matter your age or who you are. The focus here is going to be easy and soft techniques. We're first going to take you through the safety aspects to make sure you're not going to injure yourself and you won't injure your partner as you're going through the practices. We're going to show you a lot of stretches and warm-ups to warm up yourself, so less chance of stretching your muscles. We're going to introduce you to the yin-yang. Some people might recognize this as being from the Korean flag. Others might recognize it as the backdrop of almost all martial arts. Yet almost no instructors will actually explain to their students what this means. But this is one of the keys of having the most effective and efficient self-defense. This means opposites. Or to be more specific, it means things that appear to be opposite, but is actually complementary. This shows the balances which is right through the self-defense. So we'll show you male and female, young and old. Self-defense applies to everyone. If you go to a club and there's no one your age or sex, you already know the instructors are missing a big component of the self-defense. We have hard and soft. Self-defense is not about injuring your attacker. It is about releasing and escaping and getting yourself out of that situation. So we're going to show you a lot of soft techniques, soft and easy, so anyone can release and get away. We're also going to show you the hard ways for the times you're really concerned and you need to hurt the opponent a bit more to give yourself more time to get away. Everything has advantages and disadvantages. So we're going to show you all the techniques and what they're for, but we're also going to show you the disadvantages or the weaknesses of that technique. Not only so you can manage it yourself, but if your opponent uses the same movements, you'll understand what weaknesses they have and you can leverage that. We're going to show you all the way through the training when you have a movement, hands are in opposite directions. And when you load up for a movement, they load up in the opposite direction as they're going to end up. And this is for a lot of reasons. And we're going to explain how that is going to add to your power, how that is going to add to the effectiveness of your movements. We're going to then show you the main stances that we're going to use for all the techniques. We're then going to show you the standard basic movements which we are going to turn into the self-defense techniques. We're going to take you through all the main ways someone is going to attack you and show you a lot more about the blocking to get the initial attack away. Then we're going to apply the movements you've learned into the defense technique. And we're going to show you dozens of defense techniques that are focusing on the easy, simple ways of protecting yourself. Then you'll have access to all the practice drills. Everything we take you through, the more you practice, the easier it will become for you. The second group is the advanced group. Now this could be the people who have been through the basic subscription and are really keen, find this interesting and want to learn a lot more about defense. Or this is for the existing martial arts students. Regardless of what discipline you are, the movements are very similar. And all the theory behind it is the same, to increase the speed, increase their effectiveness. And we are going to show you a lot more uses for these. So for the advanced sections, we're going to do the same things that we did for the beginners, but we're going to take this a lot further. From the different types of grabs, we are now going to concentrate a lot more on control. From the different types of attacks, holding the person down so they can't actually escape. From twin hand grabs, taking their balance off, taking their power off, and being able to control where they're going to go. And especially in the security guard sections, that you can escort people out without injuring the opponent. Double grabs, distracting, removing balance, taking your opponent off. So with the advanced, we're going to take this a lot further about controlling and understanding exactly what we're going to do with the opponents. We're going to tell you a lot more about the yin and the yang. We're going to show how you can take people to the ground to control, or you can take them up on their toes so they can't move and re-offend. You can take the person in, or you can take them out. You can move to the left or the right. All these opposites and balances, we're going to show you how that's going to increase the effectiveness of all these techniques. And in the advanced, we're going to show and concentrate a lot more about the control techniques, where you can hold the opponent so they can't strike for a second time. We're going to take you through a lot more of the martial arts movements, all the main techniques that different martial arts groups use, step-by-step instructions on how it's being used. We're going to show you more about the different ways that you can be attacked. And we're going to show you hundreds of self-defense techniques. Not because you're going to memorize them all, it's so you can experiment, it's so you can practice, you can find the movements which fit your body type and your strength and your flexibility and your speed. But we're going to take this a lot further still, because the advanced group has access to the mechanics of strikes. Now this is on the basis that the body is a machine. We have got levers, we've got muscles, and if you don't use a machine properly, it's not effective. So the more we understand about how we're going to move, the more effective these movements are going to be. So we're going to show you the center of distance. How far do you need to be away from your opponent for these to work? If you apply something but are too far away, it doesn't work very well. If you're too close, you'll find it doesn't work very well. So we'll explain where is the middle part, where is the center of the distance you need to be. We're going to explain the center of power. For all forward techniques, it is really straight out from your chest. And we're going to explain that when you apply a movement, if you're not on your center of power, it is going to be a lot harder to apply. So where you need to be facing. We're going to show you a lot more about the extension of the arms and the legs. Early on we'll teach you how to punch, but now we're going to show you every part of the body which is going to contribute to the power and the speed of the execution. We're going to explain a lot more about the rotation of the hands. Most instructors are going to show you the common 2 or 3 uses. We're going to show you the main 7 uses for the twisting. We're then going to explain a lot more about the body and your body weapons, all the parts of your body which you can then use for different techniques. And the more you understand, the more flexible your self-defense techniques are going to be. The opposite of understanding your body is understanding your opponent's body. So we're going to show you the pressure points and the target points of where you're going to be aiming. If you get a wrong place, you can hit hard with very little impact. If you know where to strike, very soft impacts can have a big impact to it. Have your techniques a lot more efficient. So have a look around the site. You can go through every aspect that we've got. There's free examples through everything so you can see the detail and the quantity of information we have. Under the overviews, we have got information about the content of the site. We're going to show you how to navigate around, since there's so much information, how to actually find things. And there's a very comprehensive but user-friendly filtering system so you can go to the parts that you actually want. We also have a customization that when you sign up, you'll have your own page. So when you find things you really enjoy, you can favorite them. When you find things that interest you but you don't have the time now, you can read later and put the things that most interest you on your own page so it's easier to find and access. So again, welcome to Self-Defense Training Online. Have a good look around and have fun learning. Cut.